My dear friends, there comes a moment in every life when the world seems to collapse around you, when the walls close in, when the light fades, when hope itself appears to be nothing more than a cruel joke played by fate. You look around and see nothing but darkness. You feel nothing but pain. You hear nothing but the sound of your own heart breaking. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can stop. You can lie down. You can surrender to the despair. Or you can do what I am about to tell you to do. If you are going through hell, keep going. Do not stop. Do not hesitate. Do not look back. Keep moving forward. Because I promise you this, if you stop in hell, you will stay in hell. But if you keep going, you will eventually walk out the other side. This is not empty rhetoric. This is not motivational nonsense designed to make you feel better for a few minutes. This is the distilled wisdom of a man who has walked through hell more times than he cares to remember. I have been there. I have felt the flames. I have choked on the smoke. I have stumbled through the darkness. And I am here to tell you that hell is not a permanent address. It is a road, a terrible, painful, agonizing road. But it is still just a road. And like all roads, it has an end. Let me take you back to a time in my life when I was in hell. The year was 1911, and I was Home Secretary. A young man named Peter the Painter was involved in a siege in East London. Anarchists had barricaded themselves in a building. Police were being shot. The situation was chaos. I went to the scene personally. The building caught fire. People died. And I was blamed. The press savaged me. They said I was irresponsible, that I was playing at being a soldier, that I had blood on my hands. Then came Gallipoli in 1915. I have already spoken of this disaster, but let me tell you what it felt like to be inside it. 50,000 casualties. Young men sent to their deaths because of a plan I had championed. The screams of the wounded haunted my dreams. The faces of the dead appeared before me when I closed my eyes. I was forced to resign. My wife Clementine watched me sink into a depression so deep that she feared I might take my own life. I painted to keep myself sane. I went to the trenches in France, partly to serve, partly to escape, partly because I no longer cared whether I lived or died. That was hell. That was walking through fire. But I kept going. I did not stop. I could not afford to stop, because stopping would have meant staying in that dark place forever. And slowly, step by painful step, I walked out of it. By 1917, I was back in government. By 1924, I was Chancellor of the Exchequer. By 1940, I was Prime Minister. But none of that would have happened if I had stopped moving in 1915. You see, my friends, hell is designed to make you stop. That is its entire purpose. Hell wants you to give up, to surrender, to accept defeat as permanent. Hell whispers in your ear that things will never get better, that you might as well quit, that the pain will never end. Hell lies. Hell always lies. The truth is that nothing lasts forever. Not the good times and not the bad times either. Everything changes. Everything passes. Everything moves. And if you keep moving with it, you will eventually find yourself in a better place, but you must keep moving. Now I understand that some of you are in situations that feel impossible. Perhaps you have lost someone you love. Perhaps you have lost your job, your home, your savings. Perhaps you have received a diagnosis that terrifies you. Perhaps your business has collapsed. Perhaps you are struggling with an addiction, a mental illness, a disability that changes everything. Perhaps you have made mistakes that you believe are unforgivable. Perhaps you are carrying guilt that crushes you. Perhaps you are lonely, afraid, ashamed, desperate. I am not here to tell you that these things are not real. I am not here to tell you that your pain does not matter. I am not here to minimize your suffering. Your hell is real. Your pain is valid. Your struggle is genuine. But I am here to tell you that you must keep going anyway. Let me explain why stopping in hell is the worst possible thing you can do. When you stop, you give hell time to work on you. You give despair time to sink its claws deeper into your soul. You give fear time to paralyze you completely. You give hopelessness time to convince you that this is all there is, all there ever will be. Hell grows stronger when you are still. It feeds on your inaction. But when you move, when you take even the smallest step forward, you starve hell of its power over you. You prove to yourself that you are still alive, still capable, still in control of something, even if that something is just putting one foot in front of the other. During the Blitz, London was hell on earth. Night after night, German bombers filled the sky. Buildings exploded. Fires raged. People died in their thousands. Children were pulled from the rubble. Entire families were wiped out in seconds. The city was transformed into an inferno. And what did Londoners do? Did they stop? Did they surrender? Did they hide in their shelters and wait for the nightmare to end? No, they kept going. They went to work. They kept the factories running. They kept the shops open. They kept the underground trains moving. They cleared the rubble. They put out the fires. They buried their dead and carried on. They sang in the shelters. They made jokes about Hitler. They painted messages on bombed-out buildings saying, "We are still here." They refused to stop. They refused to let hell win. And because they kept going, hell eventually retreated. The bombs stopped falling. The fires went out. The city rebuilt. Life continued. But it continued because people refused to stop moving. I want you to understand something crucial. Keeping going does not mean you have to take giant leaps. It does not mean you have to accomplish great things every day. It does not mean you have to pretend everything is fine. Keeping going simply means doing the next thing, whatever that next thing is. If you are drowning in grief, keeping going might mean getting out of bed today, just that, nothing more. Getting out of bed is enough. If you are crushed by financial ruin, keeping going might mean making one phone call, talking to one creditor, applying for one job, just one. That is enough. If you are battling illness, keeping going might mean taking your medication, eating something, walking to the window. Small things, tiny things, but they are not tiny. They are everything, because each small step is a refusal to stop. Each tiny action is a declaration that hell does not own you. Each moment of forward movement, no matter how slight, is a victory. And victories, my friends, even the smallest ones, they accumulate, they build, they create momentum. One small step leads to another. One small victory makes the next one easier. One moment of progress reminds you that progress is possible. And before you know it, you have walked further than you thought possible. You have endured more than you believed you could endure. You have survived what you were certain would destroy you. Let me tell you about a man I knew during the war. His name was Tom. Tom lost his wife and both his children in a bombing raid. His entire family gone in one night. When I met him, he was a broken man, empty eyes, hollow voice. He told me he saw no reason to continue. He said he was already dead, just walking around. I told him what I am telling you now. Keep going. Just keep going. I did not promise him that the pain would go away. I did not tell him he would be happy again. I simply told him to keep moving. Get up tomorrow. Go to work. Do your job. Come home. Go to bed. Get up the next day. Repeat. Just keep the machine running even if the machine feels broken. Tom did that. For months he was a ghost going through the motions. But he kept going. And then one day, years later, I saw him again. He had remarried. He had a new child. He was smiling. He told me that he never thought he would smile again. never thought he would feel anything again, but he had kept going, and eventually life had returned. Not the same life, not the old happiness, but a new life, a different happiness, one that included the memory of what he had lost but was not destroyed by it. That is what keeping going does. It gives time a chance to work. Time is the one thing that hell cannot defeat. Given enough time, wounds heal. Given enough time, circumstances change. Given enough time, new possibilities emerge. But you must give time that chance. You must stay in the game long enough for time to do its work. If you stop, if you give up, if you surrender, you rob yourself of the future that time was preparing for you. I know some of you are thinking that your situation is different. You are thinking that my examples do not apply to you. You are thinking that your hell is worse, more permanent, more hopeless. I understand that feeling when you are in the depths. It is almost impossible to imagine that anyone else has suffered as you are suffering, but I assure you throughout history, people have endured unimaginable horrors and survived. They have walked through hells that would make your blood run cold, and they survived by doing exactly what I am telling you to do. They kept going. Consider the soldiers at Dunkirk in 1940, surrounded by German forces, backs to the sea, no way out, bombs falling, bullets flying, death everywhere. It would have been easy to surrender. It would have been reasonable to give up, but they did not. They waded into the water. They climbed onto boats. They kept moving toward home, and 338,000 men were saved because they kept going. Consider the prisoners in the concentration camps, starved, beaten, worked to death, stripped of everything human, living in hell itself. Many died, but some survived, and the ones who survived were often those who found some way to keep going, a reason to see tomorrow, a small task to complete, a friend to help, something, anything to keep moving forward. Their survival was an act of defiance against hell itself. Consider the victims of the Great Fire of London in 1666. Their city burned for 4 days, 13,000 houses destroyed, hundreds of thousands homeless, everything gone, but they rebuilt. They kept going, and London became greater than it was before. Consider anyone who has ever overcome addiction. They walk through a special kind of hell, a hell where their own body and mind conspired against them, where every cell screamed for the very thing that was destroying them. But the ones who made it through, they did it by keeping going, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 moment at a time, never stopping, always moving forward. Even when forward was measured in seconds, you have that same strength in you. You have that same capacity to endure, to persist, to outlast your hell. It is built into you. It is part of your design as a human being. We are survivors. We are built to keep going. Your ancestors survived ice ages and plagues and wars and famines. They survived things that should have wiped them out, and they survived because they kept going. That genetic inheritance is yours. That strength is in your blood. You are the descendant of survivors. Act like it. Now let me be very clear about something. I am not telling you to suffer in silence. I am not telling you to refuse help. I am not telling you that asking for support is weakness. Keep going does not mean go alone. It means keep moving and use whatever resources you have. If you need help, ask for it. That is still moving forward. If you need to talk to someone, talk. That is still progress. If you need medicine, take it. If you need therapy, get it. If you need to lean on friends, lean. If you need to rest, rest. But rest is not the same as stopping. Rest is preparation to continue. Rest is gathering strength for the next step. Stopping is surrender. There is a difference. During the war, we rested. We regrouped. We retreated when necessary. But we never stopped fighting. We never stopped moving toward victory. We adjusted our tactics. We changed our strategies. We asked for help from America, from the Commonwealth, from anyone who would stand with us. That was not weakness. That was wisdom. That was keeping going in the smartest way possible. So use your intelligence. Use your resources. Use your support system. But whatever you do, keep going. I also want to address those of you who are going through hell because of your own mistakes. Perhaps you made a terrible decision. Perhaps you betrayed someone. Perhaps you destroyed something valuable through your own foolishness or weakness. Perhaps your hell is one you created yourself. I say to you, keep going anyway. Yes, you may need to make amends. Yes, you may need to apologize. Yes, you may need to face consequences. But you still need to keep going, because stopping in a hell of your own making does not help anyone. It does not undo what you did. It does not repair the damage. It just adds more damage. The only way to redeem yourself is to move forward, to become better, to learn from what you did, to grow into someone who would not make that mistake again. And that requires movement. That requires progress. That requires keeping going. I made mistakes that cost lives. I carry that weight every day, but I did not let that weight pin me to the ground. I used it to make me more careful, more thoughtful, more responsible. I kept going, and I like to think that I did some good in the years that followed. You can do the same. Your past does not have to define your future, but only if you keep going. As I approach the end of my words to you today, I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself 1 year from now, 2 years, 5 years. Imagine that you kept going. Imagine that you took step after step, day after day, through whatever hell you are facing. Imagine that you refuse to stop. What do you see? I will tell you what I see. I see someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who has been forged in fire and emerged as steel, someone who knows what they are capable of, someone who has faced the worst and survived, someone who can look at any future challenge and say, I have been through worse, I can handle this. That person is worth fighting for. That future is worth reaching for. But the only way to become that person, the only way to reach that future is to keep going right now. Today, this moment, you are in hell. I acknowledge that. I do not diminish it, but I am telling you with every fiber of my being, with all the authority of my long life and hard-won experience, keep going. Take the next step. Do the next thing. Survive the next hour. Make it through the next day. Hell is not forever. Hell is not your home. Hell is not your destination. Hell is just a road you are traveling, a terrible road. Yes, a road you would never have chosen, certainly, but still just a road, and roads can be traveled, they can be crossed, they can be left behind if you keep going. So go, move, walk, crawl if you must, but do not stop. Do not surrender. Do not give hell the satisfaction of claiming you. You are stronger than you know. You are more resilient than you believe. You are capable of more than you can imagine. Prove it. Prove it to yourself. Prove it to the world. Prove it to hell itself. Get up. Keep going. I believe in you. History believes in you. The future is waiting for you, but you must keep going to reach it. If you are going through hell, keep going. That is all. That is everything. That is how you win. Now go and do it. Thank you. And may God be with you on your journey.